Hello, my name is HAPruitt and I am the author of the Anathalian series, and I am also an editor. And this video and this video series is going to be about editing your book. I'm going to explain how to edit a book, all the stages, all the steps. Not all steps are going to be absolutely necessary to edit a book, but all of the steps will be helpful in making your book the best it can be, whether you're traditional publishing or self-publishing. A lot of them will apply to both before you even get your book to the point of sending it to query or sending it to an editor. This will help you self-edit your book to make it the best it can be. If you want to know about my editing services or the 4 types of editing, I have that in a video, and I'll put that video down in the description you can watch. If you're interested in hiring me as an editor, or you just want to know like the basics of the 4 types of editing, then you can watch that video linked in the description. And if you have any questions or if you have suggestions of editing topics, please leave them in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the video for this week. So this is the 17th video in the editing series, and it is going to be about choosing an editor. Hiring an editor is one of the last steps when editing your book, and it includes multiple steps. So I'll have several videos about editors, and I'm an editor, so I know both sides of the author-editor dynamic. So this video is about tips for choosing an editor, getting the right editor. That is so important. If you don't get a good editor, it's gonna be a mess, okay? So tips for choosing a good editor. Find an editor who shares or respects your values and beliefs. This may even be more important than if they know all their grammar stuff, because if you don't share your values and beliefs with your editor, they may come back and say like your book is incorrect and it's wrong in what it's saying and you need to change the whole thing. I have not had this experience, but I know other people have, that they've found editors who just don't agree, and they either refuse to be the editor or they tell it to change things that are essential to the message, and it's not a good relationship. So it's like, you may not want to like ask the editor, you may, that's totally okay if you do, but to do that, maybe ask your friends if they've had experiences with that editor, if they know what that editor believes, or you can read their work or their post. If you wonder what I believe, read my Anathalian series. If you wonder what I believe, read my post. Every morning I make a post about God on my Instagram and Facebook. Very clear what I believe. So read their stuff, see what they believe. And with that, read their posts and their work. Posts are easier, like if they post on social media, or if they have just written up a thing that tells about their editing services, read those. And if you can find mistakes in their stuff, then they may not be the right editor for you. Obviously, everyone makes mistakes. And with autocorrect acting like it has lately, like my autocorrect is so bad about making correct words incorrect words because I accidentally typed them once. So, give everybody leeway. But if they consistently make mistakes and don't proofread their own work, then they're not going to be careful and meticulous and detailed with your work. So read their stuff. If you can find mistakes, consistent mistakes, then they may not be the editor for you. Okay. So next tip, find an editor who understands your genre. They don't have to like your genre necessarily, but they need to understand it. Like romance just isn't my thing, but I know the general flow of a romance plot and how it's supposed to go. And I've edited romance books and multiple times, and I'm like, I don't like this, but I recognize this is how it's supposed to be. And I know romance readers will like this, and so I can edit romance books. There are other things I would not be familiar with, like horror. I don't edit horror. Sci-fi, I am not technologically inclined, so sci-fi might be a little bit out of my league. If it's technology heavy, I would definitely, if I was asked to edit a sci-fi, I would ask like what the technology level is, and if I need to have any knowledge or I just need to take them at their word. But communicate with your editor, like ask them before they become your editor, like, will you be able to do this genre? And like, even though I write mainly fantasy and that's it, I can do multiple genres because I've read lots of books and I understand like, and I talk to other authors and read their stuff and I understand what's supposed to be in it. So an editor can usually have a pretty wide range, but there are some that they don't want to do. Like I have some I will tell people I will not do that genre, like erotica anything overly sexual, anything overly graphic, anything with excessive language, anything gory or horror, I will not do. And lots of editors have things like that they just will not do. So you have to ask. Or they may tell, like a lot of them have a post or something saying what they will do and what they won't do. So next tip, find an editor who, no, I just did that. Find an editor who provides what you need. So this can cover multiple things. First, what kind of editing do you need? There are 4 main types: developmental, content, line editing, proofreading, and I'm missing one, but there are 4, and I have it on my post thingy. And in a video you can watch that's connected to this video. Do you need all 4 types? Do they provide all 4 types, or are they just one specific? Are they just a proofreader, just a developmental editor? Ask them about that. Next, do they provide what you need in way of communication? Are you someone who's like, I'm going to send you my manuscript, you do it, you send it back, I don't want to talk to you? Or are you someone who's like, I'm going to send you my manuscript. Can we talk about this? Can we chat about this? Can we send messages? Can we send multiple emails? Like after I get it back, can we continue to kind of talk so we can work out ideas? Ask them what they're open to doing. So you know, and that just depends on your needs and what they offer. Next, an editor who provides what you need. What format do they edit in? Me, I print the papers out and I will mail it and send it to you because I work fastest and best in paper format, and I can get through like 100,000 words in a week like that. And if it was on my phone, it would take me 6 months. No joke. So if it was on my computer, it would never get done. So ask them what format they do it in, because some people are kind of like, oh, I don't like that whole sending it to me in the mail thing. So just ask and they will let you know. Next, ask them about different country. This does not work. If I had to send it to a different country, that would probably make the cost of editing not line up with like the cost of sending. But I do edit for someone in Canada, and I do print hers out, but then I implement the edits on my computer, and that works. And also, when someone is in a different country, you may have some differences in the correct grammar, the correct punctuation. Just if you guys can work it out and they can let you know, then that's okay. But if it's too different, then you may need to get a different editor. I keep thinking about it. I'm the editor and they're the author, but I need to talk about this as the author looking for an editor. Okay. So, also, finding the right editor. Find a respectful editor. There's a mean way and there's a nice way to say anything. So look at how they interact with others, like on social media. Are they hateful or are they usually nice? Do they stay away from arguments? Do they dive into arguments? Do they phrase things in a way that's constructive and helpful and gives reasons? Or do they just give opinions and say, I don't like that? Look at that so you can know if they're respectful or not. And hey, you may come here. All my children are home today. So last, find an editor who doesn't try to write or rewrite your book. Okay, now, so if an author is like, I need suggestions, or if I see issues as the editor, I'm going to share my suggestions, and a good editor should provide constructive feedback and should provide suggestions. But they should do so based on what the author wants to achieve, not their opinions. So if I'm reading a romance book, if I'm editing a romance book, and I don't like the third act breakup, because I think the third act breakup is dumb in every romance book, I shouldn't be like, you should change this because the third act breakup is dumb. I shouldn't do that. No. But if I see an issue with the third act breakup, like, this isn't quite believable, the reason that causes them to break up doesn't overshadow their love for each other, that's constructive. And you could say, maybe you could change it to be like this. I try very hard to pay attention to people's styles, how people write, their message they're trying to get across, their beliefs and their morals, and make sure my suggestions match up with that, even on a small scale. Even when I suggest like changing the syntax of a sentence, I take the wording they used and don't make up my own wording and change it up with what I think they would go for. If I didn't make a suggestion at all, I'm like, what would they probably rewrite this as? So find an editor like that. And that's really hard to know. So you need to, I wrote it down and now my brain's like, bloop, bloop. You need to ask other authors if they've worked with that author to know how they approach editing. If it's I'm going to change your manuscript, or if it's I want to make your manuscript yours and the best it can be. And also ask them to edit a sample. That will help you so much with all of these, with choosing an editor. Ask them to edit a sample. After you do all this other research and you think, I think I like this editor, ask them about a sample. I'll do a couple pages, like 1 or 2 pages, or a chapter if it's a shorter chapter, and just to get the gist of like how I work and the comments I give and how I phrase things to that author if it's in a kind way. Please don't put my hair in that. You're supposed to be sitting down. I'm not playing anything. So the sample will help you very much get the feel for the editor, and help you know if that editor is right for you. And just communicating with them through the emails. Are they making mistakes when they're writing? Please stop. Are they making mistakes when they write you emails? Are they using just slang when they should be using proper words? And how they talk to you in the emails. Just get a feel for that, because how they communicate is going to translate into how they edit, and how seriously they take proper grammar and proper wording and proper everything. So do those things. Find yourself a really good editor. When you get a good editor, it makes such a huge difference. It is so good. When you can have a good relationship with the author and editor, you guys can talk about things and come up with ideas and make your book the best it can be, and it can be wonderful. So do that. Yeah. So that is the editing tip for this week. Please like this video. Please leave a comment. Please share this video with others. Please check out that video of my editing services and the 4 types of editing in the description below. And remember, this video is part of a series, so please watch the series so you can make your book the best that it can be. If you want to know more about Anna Thalian or HAPruitt, please follow me on Instagram at HAPruitt. You can find me on Amazon as an Amazon author, HAPruitt. Please watch my YouTube channel and all my cool videos on my channel, HAPruitt Anna Thalian. You can find me on the Facebook page, HAPruitt Anna Thalian. You can follow me on Goodreads by the name HAPruitt and the book Anna Thalian, or you can go to my website where so much cool stuff about Anna Thalian is. The website is HAPruitt.com.